you ever been, well, trampled upon by others? We all have. We've had those people in our life who have just done us wrong. The Bible tells us of an ordinary man that God elevated to a position of authority, and his name was Joseph. Here's a man whose brothers disliked him, and they sold him into slavery. Now, he didn't help the situation much by bragging that one day they would bow before him and angering them. But his brothers sold him into slavery. In slavery, he was sold to a man named Potiphar, and there he was accused of sexual abuse and ended up in prison. There in prison, he was elevated till he became the chief next to the jailer. Then one day the Pharaoh had a dream, and before you know it, he is second in command of all the land. And then, as time would move on, a famine would come, and his family would come from a far country, and then he would be used of God to spare the family. We just look at a man's life with just a glimpse, but here's a man who had every reason to be bitter, to be angry, to be resentful. And here's his brothers before him, and he acknowledges who he is finally, and then they bring their father and they dwell in the land, and then one day Jacob dies. Now the brothers who have offended him are fearful, and they come to him, and they say to him, "Are you going to get revenge now that Dad's dead?" And basically Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid, for am I in the place of God? But as for me, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. Now therefore do not be afraid. I will provide for you and your little ones." And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Joseph was a man who learned to forgive because he saw the big picture. He saw the sovereign hand of God at work. And he was able to say God was working through adverse circumstances to accomplish his purpose. Is God working through adverse circumstances in your life or my life to accomplish his will and his purposes? Father, today, may we be quick to forgive and even quicker to see the hand of God at work. For all things work together for good to them that love you. In Christ's name, amen.